Welcome to the Word Nest, where stories take flight. I'm one of your hosts, Mariah, and I'm here with my co-host, Amelia. Hello. In today's episode, we're going to update you all and each other on our writing goals and achievements. We're going to talk comfort characters and media, and we're going to play a newlyweds game. So let's go ahead and dive in.
I think you and I are going to do better at the newlywed game with each other than the newlyweds on the historic newlywed game have done in the past.
I'm sure.
That's my prediction.
I'm really excited for it. And I'm also really excited because I know, sometimes we talk about, we talk about where we are at with our own personal writing and everything. But, I'm think it's going to be good for me and my neurodivergence to kind of have this check-in with you, and of course our audience. But do you want to kick us off?
I would love to kick us off.
Tell me how your writing has been going.
Oh gosh, well, okay. I suppose I'll just be honest. Where else can one be honest if not with the entire internet? So I have been doing a lot of writing in the last year or so, which has been pretty good. I'm not mad about it. It's, I think I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here just so that I think the readership sort of knows where we're coming from. So to my mind, there are two types of writers, right? There are writers who write even though it causes them excruciating pain to write, and then at the end they feel complete. And then there are writers who the act of writing, the act of drafting, creation of putting words on page is the purest form of joy. So that made me seem like other writers don't experience joy. What I mean to say is some experience it from the process more and some experience it more from the finished product. Mm. I think you and I are both process writers.
I don't know about that.
Oh, say more. I thought we were on the same page.
Writing is really hard for me, and it has been since the MFA. I think that I just was traumatized by the entire process of... Sorry, my dog is growling out the window. Gimli, relax. I think I was just traumatized by the entire process of the workshop. I don't really even know what it was. It was just misery. So now every time I sit down to write, it's pulling teeth. It's really painful.
I think so. To that end, I think your trauma response to writing is that the workshop sucked the joy out of it. But I think we had talked about sort of before that you were more. Oh my god, my eyebrow. I'm sorry. I have to address it again. I'm gonna say this in every episode. My eyebrow, it's gonna do stuff, and I'm sorry. But yeah, so we both went to the same MFA, as people might know already. But we were in separate years, so we didn't have the same workshops. We took 0 workshops together.
Workshops together. I don't think we ever had a class together.
No, I don't think so. So I didn't experience the same trauma as you. And I was coming from my undergrad workshops where I had the best experience ever in one of them. So I had that to sort of hold me in and keep me going all the time. But here's some advice from us. Don't get an MFA unless you know what you want from it, or unless you know what to expect.
Yeah, and I guess, there was a lot of stuff going on in my personal life as well, so I think it was just an entire cluster of a 2-year program. But I will say, to me, the MFA was the pressure cooker, and that the quality of my writing, drastically improved in those 2 years. And it's also where I really decided that I wanted to be an editor and pursue that part of my career. So, some good things.
Yeah, definitely, I wouldn't trade my MFA. I wouldn't have met you without it.
I know. Or so Margaret.
Or Margaret.
Yep, those are the 2 besties that I took away from that program.
And, I loved, the location. Mm-hmm. And some of the professors were really great, and some of them said things out loud to people that I question.
They sure did.
But yeah, so, sorry, I thought we should start with a little bit of background before we start talking about... Oh, and I guess I should also say, when I got the MFA, I hadn't written in a couple of years, and I was sort of looking for that drive to write again. And it came back briefly after and then sort of went away again. And now I have it back due to a set of life circumstances that occurred. Sometimes it really is like the burden that's upon you has to be lifted and then your creativity comes back.
Oh, absolutely.
But on that note, what I have been doing with it is fan fiction, which has been really fun. And it's a great place to explore, I think, in the same way that writing a self-published book is a way to push boundaries and like do things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do if you were traditionally querying.
I
Fan fiction,
absolutely agree.
Yeah, fan fiction is a great place to be like, well, I'm going to experiment with the genre and receive immediate feedback. And also like decide if I like it, you know? So that's what I've been doing.
I think also, and maybe you will feel this way as well, to me, one of the biggest pros of writing fan fiction is character study.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you really get a sense of like how somebody works, their motivations, their reactions to things, where that comes from, like internally. And again, when you said the immediate feedback, like if you are writing out of character, people will let you know. And I think that it's just like such an interesting dynamic that personally I feel like writing fan fiction made me better at characterization but also better at dialogue, and like just even hearing like, oh, this was a super powerful line, and I'm like, okay, well now I know how to get that ball rolling in the future.
Yeah. And I think too, like even a sense of place, like I think you know this about me. A big thing that I love in books is when it feels like it's like set somewhere, which is a weird thing to say. But what I mean is I like when the setting is just, I love to feel like I'll never know a place as well as this book knows that place. And I feel like when you're writing fan fiction in particular, especially if it's tied to like a world, you really get to know that place and you can see where, you know, all of what all of those pieces are, how the characters are linked to the place, how setting becomes a character, and that sort of thing. So, write fan fiction.
Yeah. And I'm, like, I went somewhere in my head. I'm back on my BBC Sherlock bullshit. So I was actually just last night staying up too late rereading some old fics. And, like, the way that people are able to characterize 221B, you know, like that, yeah. Like the apartment itself is just like so fascinating to me, and like I feel like I can close my eyes and like know every inch of that place. And it was a set, it wasn't real.
Yeah,
you know?
But it is
like,
real, and if you feel like it's real, I mean, like I know Monica Geller's apartment.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing how like you can just like close your eyes and like be in a place like that. Like I just love it so much.
I was thinking about BBC Sherlock literally minutes ago because I was trying to plug in my microphone. And I was like, oh no, Sherlock's gonna think I'm an alcoholic.
Stuff like that happens to me all the time.
Every single time.
I'll be like looking at somebody and like something from that show, like I will hear Sherlock's voice in my head and I'll be like, stop it.
Mine is just the plugging stuff in where I'm like, I'm not an alcoholic. You can't prove it. Stop.
So to get us back on track here, so I have been doing no writing, question mark. So my full-time job is writing. So it is writing articles, you know, like I write for Writer's Digest. So like in that way, I've been doing very well, writing all my things.
Love that for you.
My personal goal for this year when it came to like my creative writing has been to, like, I have such a backlog of stuff, and I'm like, it's time to start like getting it out there in front of people, getting comfortable with the submission process, keeping myself on task, doing the Excel spreadsheets.
Ooh, I love an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's have 2 things every month out on submission. So I did just today, actually, get my latest rejection.
Oh so that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Nope. I have not yet landed anything this year.
Ugh, I hate that. Someone should publish you.
Well, I understand that, like, the flash that I'm trying to get placed is very experimental, and it's very hard. Like, even as I'm researching where to go, I'm like, oh, I would love to see it in here. There are some things they've published that, like, I feel the spirit of my work in, but I'm not shocked when I have gotten some very lovely rejection letters that are like, we
That's
love
nice.
this. It's just, like, not right for us. And I'm like, I understand. And I'm actually getting more comfortable with the feeling of being rejected, which I think
That's
is
important.
Yeah, like, again, going back to, like, the trauma of the MFA, the, like, being afraid of people not liking your stuff and what that might mean about your work and the pieces of you that you put into it. I'm trying to let some of that go. So now that I've gotten a rejection, the next step is to find somewhere else to submit it. Like, always having 2 things under review is my goal. But I also, I pitched 3 like nonfiction articles to various publications, not about writing. Like, at Writer's Digest, I literally like write about writing. So I had 2 out on parenting and 1 out. I pitched an interview with someone because that's the publication asks for you to submit a pitch. So they came back to me and they were like, we like your pitch enough that we want to see a completed draft, because they're like, interviews, we've learned like not to take them on immediately because it's really easy to write a bad interview, unfortunately.
I believe it. It's really easy to give a bad interview, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was really excited about that. So I'm just setting up that interview for next week, and
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, that, like, just happened.
Congrats.
So, yeah. So it's like you get a rejection, and then you get, like, a maybe, and, you know, you just vibe, right? So
Yeah.
I'm actually really proud of, like, I know this is supposed to be a writing update, but I feel like this is part of being a writer, is the, like, getting your stuff out there.
Agreed.
So I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are. I have like 2 things. One, I actually have more. I think I forgot to say something in my writing update. But 2, this is a tangent about flash fiction. I think every time you tell me about your experimental flash fiction that people are like, it's too wild, I think about this one short story that I believe is flash that I read for, might have even been undergrad, I don't know. It was by Donald Barthelme, who is like an absurdist writer. And I'm like 90% sure that it's about a guy who turns into a giant hamster.
Okay.
Do you have any idea? Is this meaning anything to you? Okay, well, that's all I remember. I feel like he was like a giant hamster, and he was in like a classroom full of children, and they were like throwing crayons at him. Like, that's my vision of this short story. And like, I just feel if that exists out in the world, there should be a publication for you.
Well, I also do write like very surrealist and absurdist fiction, and there's one piece that I'm so proud of. I cannot tell you about it, and you will never be able to read it because it has a very specific to you trigger.
Gross. Why are you writing that?
But the entire, because I'm a horror writer at heart, and the title is "The blank are not literal." So, like,
is the blank the thing that I don't like?
Yes, I'm not going to say the word.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes, but, like, so the whole story is about this thing, but you're supposed to know from the beginning that it's not literal.
I like that.
And I did it at a reading, like I read it to an audience, and people came up to me and they were like, this is what I think it means. This is what I think it means. What does it mean?
That's so lovely.
And I'm like, that's literally the point. Like, I have done it at a few readings. People love it. Cannot get it published for the life of me.
I'm just imagining being like traumatized at a reading by it right now. I'm sorry.
Well, I would never read it at a reading you were at.
What if someone else wrote something similar and I was there and they read it? Then I would have to leave.
That you would not be at a reading that where like horror authors are like reading their like very graphic things.
That's true. I probably would not be. You're right.
But yeah, like that story like really means a lot to me, and I really love it. But that is actually one of the two things. I'm still waiting to hear back from a publication on it. But like I just have a feeling in my heart of hearts that it's a no. I think it's one of those things that if I'm going to get it published, it's going to have to be in a collection. Like if I end up publishing a collection someday, it's going to have to. Well, you should do that. It's going to have to be that. So, but yeah. We kind of started our discussion.
I have to give you my update so that we can keep accountable.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I'm writing a lot of fan fiction, but I also have so the reason we did a whole romantasy episode and the reason I've been researching a lot of romantasy is because I'm writing a romantasy.
I wasn't sure if you were going to announce that.
No, I'm going to announce it because then I'll hate myself if I don't meet my goals. So that's my accountability. I want to have my first draft done before we go to our romantasy conference.
Okay.
In August.
Yes, August.
Probably shortly after this episode actually posts, but like, we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah. I believe in you.
Thank you.
You can do it. But I know we started talking about fan fiction, and that's kind of along the lines of like what I wanted to tackle today. Right. With this idea of like comfort characters and comfort media. So to me, like I think that the idea of comfort is so personal. It's different for everybody. Clearly, what I think is comforting is not going to be what you think is comforting. But I just wanted to ask you to like kick off our conversation. Like, what defines a comfort character or piece of media for you?
I would say, for me, the comfort is the thing that I'm turning to when I'm like having a bad time. So like my comfort things are not necessarily what I would consider to be my favorite things all the time. Actually, that's not true. I changed my mind. I take that back. I think most of the things I'm most comforted by are some of my favorite things. But yeah, it's like the thing that if I hear a spooky noise at night, it's what I'm putting on the TV. Or I'm having a bad day and I just want, Liz Lemon to go into some shenanigans in front of me. So yeah.
I think that's interesting. We're very different readers and very different people in general, but like I like for my media to hurt me. You know this about me. So like to me, the reason why I seek, I read and watch a lot of horror, a lot of true crime documentaries, a lot of like dark fantasy, I would say. I would say that Ninth House is dark fantasy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I like a dark fantasy. I don't like when things are really gross. And I don't like when, I don't like to watch violent media because I don't like gore. I say, knowing full well that like on my list of things that I'm currently comforted by is the movie Ravenous. But that's not as bloody as it's advertised to be.
Right,
like,
yeah. There
are other non-horror movies that are a billion times more disgusting.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like to be, I do like to be hurt sometimes, but ultimately, I don't like to be bummed out.
Yeah. I'm okay with being bummed out. For me, what defines like comfort media or like a comfort character is like that I have a place to like safely explore those feelings. So like I think the world is very scary. I think now more than ever many of us are afraid every day. And to me, like there's something about going into a fictional world and letting it terrify me, knowing that I could just walk away from it, and like that feeling is more contained in that space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily turn to media when I like need to be comforted. It's more like a way for me to like process and manage big emotions in a way that doesn't feel so like, as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, so neurodivergent to me. But, I mean, it's true. Like, this is where I can, like, safely step into those emotions. And I don't want to say cosplay them. That sounds, like, derogatory. But, like...
But, yeah, I think...
Feel them, and then step back out of them, and, like, go back to my real life.
Yeah, and I think, like, you've hit on an interesting issue that I see people talking about a lot with, like, the new dark romance genre. I don't want to say it, not new necessarily, but like the dark romance genre, where like a lot of people are really upset by it. And that's fair. You can be upset by it, but like I'm upset by horror and I still think horror should exist.
Yeah.
So I think there's a like a larger conversation happening around books like that right now. Or maybe it happened. I don't, maybe we missed it. But I think that's really interesting, and like for me, I'm not comforted by things that aren't. I want things to be happy when I need comfort.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but I also feel like a lot of times, like I only watch, for the most part, when I watch TV, I'm mostly watching either dumb, over-the-top dramatic shows or like sitcoms, because I'll just be sad for a long time if it makes me feel realistically hurt. Like Avatar The Last Airbender, for example, I'm not going to give spoilers just because, in case anyone hasn't watched it. But there's a thing that happens at the end of season 2, I believe. And I was a wreck for like a week until I finished watching season 3. I was like, I can't survive this.
That is literally like, so my friend just got me into this show. It's called From. It is a horror. And it, like, I binged it. And I just wrapped up, like, season 3, like, it just aired, you know what I mean? Like, so the way that it ended, it hurt me. And now I have to wait. I have to wait until, like, next spring. Horrible. For it to come out. And I was like, why have I done this to myself? Next spring? Yeah, they're actually, now. They're beginning to film it now. So they're filming between June and November, and then, like, episodes will start airing, because it airs weekly, even though, like, it's
that's good.
On an online platform. But I was like, buckle up. It's not like Supernatural where I can be like, I feel like a little bit of Supernatural, and then I just like watch every single season in one go because it's not airing anymore.
Yeah.
And that is part of, like, when I think about comfort media, like, for me, I have to be able to, like, complete it. That is part of the comforting thing, is like...
Perhaps that's why I do not list Once Upon a Time amongst my comfort media, so I will not watch past season 3.5, 3A, whatever. The Neverland arc is the end for me. I'm done. I'm out after that.
It's the end of the show.
Yeah. Surprise, everyone lived happily ever after, and it was all fine.
So, kind of thinking about this from a different angle, like, do you think authors think of their characters as comfort for readers while they're writing? Or is this something that, like, fandom defines?
I think fandom defines it. You know, as a writer myself, writing both original work and fan fiction, like, I'm not thinking about it even when I'm writing fan fiction. Not that I speak for all writers, but that's my thought.
I mean, I do think for fan fiction in particular, I am more cognizant that, like, I'm writing within a known world that people will have opinions on.
That's
Although
true.
I shouldn't say that just happens with fanfic authors, and I don't know if this is because Nora Sakavic, she wrote All for the Game, which is a indie published series. So she wrote the trilogy, All for the Game, and then she stepped away for years, and then she stepped back into the world, kind of picking up where the last book left off, but from somebody else's perspective.
Oh, I didn't realize. Did I know that? Maybe I did.
I think you did. I think I was like, it's coming out! And then I read it in like 24 hours, and I was like, ah! But there was a huge issue in the fandom
Oh,
because one of the characters in, like, the newest series has dark hair, but dyes his hair blonde. Because we knew he was a blonde because of the original trilogy. And people got so angry at her. And they were like, he's a natural blonde. And she was like, I make the rules.
Yeah.
He dyes his hair. That's the end of it. But, like, people got really upset. And they, like, it was, like, a big thing in the fandom. And I'm like, do we feel so inclined to communicate this with the author because she is self-published, she has built her platform brick by brick? Like, is this something that a traditionally published author would have to encounter?
I think yes, but I do think because self-published authors, well, and this is no longer just a them thing, to my mind, but I think they are, because they're building their platform up brick by brick, and they don't have the benefit of someone else's time and resources and all of those things, I think they do a lot more engagement with the fans, whereas, like, for example, in Ninth House, like, Leigh Bardugo probably does not read any of those complaints. So, like, I'm sure she'd be getting them, but I don't think she'd respond.
Yeah.
Or maybe she would. I mean, it probably depends. You know, like, does Sarah J Maas? People say Maas, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Does she engage with people having questions and or opinions on her many extended universes? I do not know. But I'm sure...
I don't think so, because I feel like we would have heard that. Right?
Yeah, I don't think she has much of a presence. But I'm sure she receives that.
Yeah. Well, and that's Maggie Stiefvater, all of her... Well, I shouldn't say all of it. I have been off of certain social media platforms for quite a while now, so I might be completely out of the loop. But I know for quite a while, as in, like, many years, her social media was updates only. So, like, you could go to her website, and she ran a blog, and, like, you could see more. But it was no, like, back and forth. It was more like, ta-da, this is what's going on, this is what I'm doing, like, this is where you can see me on events and stuff like that. And otherwise, like, she was not engaging with the fandom, which I think is, when I, as an author, well, I don't know. Maybe this is my perspective as an editor, question mark, but, like, I feel like when your platform or your fandom gets to a certain point, it's wise to kind of step back. Because I think the more that you engage with them, like, I don't want to say the more people you're going to piss off, but, like I think part of the joy and the hard thing about writing is that, like, once you hand over your written work, it no longer fully belongs to you. And I think the more people who feel like they have ownership over it and, like, they know the characters, they know the world, they have opinions on, like, how it should go, it can get untenable.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, I mean, as an editor, it's a problem I run into a lot with writers, where I'll say, like, this doesn't make sense because XYZ, and they'll say, oh, it makes sense because ABC. And I'm like, well, you can't sit over your reader's shoulder and tell them that. So you have to make it make sense when they read it.
Yep.
And so I think authors who know that are happy in their hearts. And authors who don't give themselves ulcers.
Yeah. Or they, like, go cuckoo bananas and quit writing.
Yeah, which I don't think you should do because you have a crazy fandom.
I think you should just love your fandom for where they're at.
Yeah, I agree.
This is, like, totally not anything related to what we're talking about, but I am a big fan of the artist Baby No $. BBNO $.
I don't know what that means.
Do you know him?
Is that a person?
It is a person. He is a lovely person. He's wonderful. But, like, his TikTok fans are crazy. They're crazy. And he loves it. He is just, like, be crazy. And he feels it.
That for him.
He, like, makes...
Aww.
He, like, there was an artist who drew an MPreg of him. And then he was like, he made this video and he was like, stop drawing me pregnant, and then did like pregnancy poses so that people could do like more accurate drawings.
Oh, I love that. That's so
like,
sweet.
He's funny, like, but you have to be like willing to meet your fans in their like weird little circles.
Yeah, I love that.
I say that lovingly as a fan who like has like weird like crazy tendencies.
I'm in a weird little circle myself. I get it. It would not be me, you know, showing my weird little circle stuff to the people who created it, but to each their own. That reminds me though, I was also gonna bring up a musician. Is your artist a musician or a TikTok person? Okay.
No, he I think he might have like gotten more famous on. Do you remember that song that's like da 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 da? Okay, never mind. I'm a terrible singer. Why did I do that?
If it came out after like if it's not played on a radio station that I listen to in my car, then I probably don't know it.
No, you will know this song. I'm gonna play it.
I'm gonna be really embarrassed if I don't, but go on. Here, while you look for it, I'm going to say, so Bowling for Soup is my favorite band, and Jarrett Reddick recently did I believe it was a recent interview, and their song, for those who don't know, their most famous song is 1985, and he said something like, I don't get bands who don't want to play their most popular song. Like, we love that the fans love that song. We didn't expect that to be the popular song, but it is, and we love it. And I'm like, that's just such a great attitude, because there are so many bands who are like I saw Avril Lavigne, and she got up at the end, and like you could tell she does not like Skater Boy. She did not want to play Skater Boy, and I was like, I'm sorry that you don't like Skater Boy. I'm sorry that we were all 13 and obsessed, but like that's what you have to play, and you have to love it. That made you famous.
Yep. Well, that's so my mom and I are like huge fans of the Wahlbergs, and my mom just like is so. I don't want to say heartbroken, but she's always like, I don't understand why Mark Wahlberg like gets so upset when people call him Marky Mark. Because Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch is what made him famous.
Yeah.
But like I'm like, well, you know, he was a kid then and he did some silly things and like he doesn't want to feel like a silly kid forever. And she's like, but he's like so embarrassed by it, and it makes her feel like sad.
Yeah, he's like so famous now. Like, allow yourself to have been a cringe child.
Yeah. Like... we are getting way off topic, but I did want to talk about, like, not to be like, we're only talking about fan fiction today, but like maybe a little bit.
Maybe we are.
So I think I had this conversation on the fan fiction episode, or I guess it was technically a retelling episode of Writer's Digest Presents, which is the podcast that I do with the Writer's Digest editors. And Amy had never heard of a fix-it fic. So I had to explain.
What do you do in your media when they do things like character assassinate your boy?
Exactly. And like sometimes you need to turn to fan fiction to comfort you when you have been betrayed by the original media.
Yeah, sometimes the original media kills a character because they don't know how to write a compelling romance.
Yeah. Or sometimes they just straight up queerbait you. BBC Sherlock.
Yeah, BBC Sherlock.
Yeah, BBC Sherlock. But, like, as a fanfic writer, like, what comfort are you seeking when you sit down to write?
Ooh, this is hard because recently I have not been doing a lot of fix-it or that sort of thing. I've not really felt particularly compelled by canon in that way. But actually so I'll say in my like most prolific times, I was mostly not compelled by canon then either. I'm definitely an AU writer. So I guess what I like is to, I like a what-if scenario, like to put those guys in situations.
What is it about those characters that make you want to create new worlds for them?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thanks.
I'm really trying not to give away, like, what I have written, because I don't wish to be found.
But I just mean, like, is it something in the backstory? Is it like characterization? Is it?
I'm like compelled by I have like two particular things that compel me, and like this is gonna sound like I said all that stuff about horror, and now I'm gonna say something controversial that not even controversial, just controversial to what I already said. But I'm like compelled by violence. But I don't like gore. But I'm like, I don't know. I think, like, you know that I love to read about crime. And I'm like deeply compelled by, like, for example, The Godfather.
I do know this about you.
I love The Godfather. I think everyone should watch it. But like, also it's very long, so you know, watch it in pieces. It's, you know, even with an old-timey attention span, like, it's just 3.5 hours. It's very long. Anyway, all that is to say, I think I'm really interested in characters who resort to violence because there's nothing left.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I'm compelled by these sorts of things. Like, I'll talk about Once Upon a Time. Like, there are 3 distinct Rumpelstiltskin characters, if you will. The first is pre-becoming cursed by the Dark One, where he is a spinner. The second is Dark One, Rumpelstiltskin, where he is cursed and evil. And the third is Mr. Gold, where he is doubly cursed.
He's always cursed.
Once Upon a Time is just a wild show, and if you've never seen it, none of this is going to make sense. Just roll with it.
Hey, I mean, that's literally like every Supernatural fan who's like trying to interact with somebody not in the Supernatural fandom. Like, I get it.
Someone at work was telling me, she was like, "Oh, I used to watch Supernatural with my son. You know that show?" And I was like, "I sure do know that show. I sure do know the show Supernatural."
Yep. If you have ever spent any amount of time on Tumblr, you know the show Supernatural.
Yeah.
You know the memes.
Yeah.
You know the characters.
Although I will say that I only learned how to pronounce Castiel. So
Castiel, yeah.
It was Castiel in my head. So I'm trying really hard to not say Castiel anytime we talk about it. Which has come up a surprising amount already.
You can just call him Cass.
I will call him Cass. That's good.
That's about Dean Winchester.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
But yeah, so there's 3 distinct characters, and like a lot of people are like compelled by Spinner Rumpelstiltskin, and I'm just like, I like him. He wouldn't be like, the other guys wouldn't be anything without him, but I am not interested in exploring his life. I want him to be evil and violent and developed.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about again, Supernatural is very similar in the way that, like, there are many variations of my beloved characters. Demon Dean is a big one, where, like, at one point, Dean, through a long series of events, took on the mark of Cain and became a demon. He lost his soul. And so he's just, like, going around the world, like, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, being a bitch. Like, just nasty to everybody. And people love Demon Dean. And I'm like, why? It literally took away everything that makes Dean who he is. The only compelling thing about that entire story arc was watching Sam and Cass contend with the loss of, like, it's like grieving somebody who's still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at this person, but they're not the person that you love. And there's, like, no guarantee that they ever will be again. And so, I don't know, like, if I'm reading fanfic and I see Demon Dean in the tags, bye, I'm out of here. Like,
that's fair. I have a similar
for someone else.
I have a similar thing that I don't like regarding Belle. Obviously, you all know now. You all can tell. But I feel similarly, and I think, like, to your point, the interesting part about, like, cursed Rumpelstiltskin and cursed Mr. Gold is that, like, he hated himself, and so, like, he's fueled by, like I had this whole in my head, and then I've lost it now. I'm gonna try to re-articulate it, but like how you said about Sam and Cass mourning how Dean was is like Rumpelstiltskin is making sure he is never that same person again. But also, I think, you know, Robert Carlyle brings so much nuance to a character that, like, I'm simply now compelled by his acting, and, like,
He is who I would consider to be, like, when I say, like, this is a term I have just made up in my head. That,
Make it up.
like,
Do it.
you guys will find out I make up a lot of words, and they
Do
mean things only to me. But when I think about micro actors, like, what I mean is that, like, you really have to watch their micro expressions.
I like that. Yeah.
Because, like, they embody a character so much that, like, every single muscle in their body, like when they're acting, even, like, if they're in the background of a scene, like, you can see them being that character. And I definitely feel like he is like that.
He is like that.
And the first thing I ever saw him in was Once Upon a Time, I will
Me too.
admit. Although, like, I might have seen him in something else and, like, not picked up on it.
Probably not.
But, I don't know, I feel like he's been in... No, I'm not going to go there. It's a tangent for another time. But, like...
Don't get me started.
He was the only reason I watched that show for so long, just because, like, I was just so compelled by not just the character, but his embodiment of the character.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I feel similarly. So, my Robert Carlyle is Bill Hader.
Yeah. Get him on the record.
And
Let's do it.
I feel the same way about his acting. Like, I will never recover from watching the first episode of, what was that show that he did? Where it was all the documentaries.
The crime one that I can't watch? Oh.
No. Documentary Now. It escaped me for a second. But they did, like, it's a parody show of famous documentaries.
Should I watch that? That sounds great.
It was amazing, but, like, in this one scene, like, he surprised himself by crying, because that wasn't, like, originally scripted. They didn't expect it, but, like, he was, like, so that character in that moment. And if you had seen the documentary, like, you would be like, wow, like, he really is, like, in it. And I'm like, my man.
I think that happens a lot when Robert Carlyle acts as well. Like, I read an interview once where he said he does cry a lot in real life, which, like, I relate to because I cry at everything. We have discussed. If I'm not crying, you've done something wrong. Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot of interviews. He was in this movie called Face, which isn't important because it's impossible to find, in, like, 1997, where he plays, oh gosh, I think it's set in London. And he's from Glasgow, so he does not have a London accent. But he put on this London accent, and he spoke with it for the entire filming of the movie. And one of the actors was, like, filming wrapped, and he immediately became Scottish again, and we were all like, what the fuck?
Who are you?
So, yeah.
I don't know, that's the end of the, because if I start talking about Bill Hader,
Yeah.
we'll never leave. We'll just be trapped here forever. But I will say, one of the best performances ever. Stephen King's It, with Bill Hader as Richie Tozer.
I think you know that I have no comment on this, but I support you and agree with you, and if anyone ever says anything to me about it, I will say how good it was.
It was amazing. It was phenomenal. Like, it's one of those, like, again, caused me pain. Every time I watch it, weeping. Like, He loved Eddie so much.
Yeah, man. I also thought that.
And that's, I read a lot of Fix-It-Fix. To comfort myself from the pain that the ending of that film caused me.
I believe it. I mean, so, like, the thing about horror is, like, I don't like to be scared, and I'm easily scared, and I'll just be scared forever. Like, as soon as I'm frightened, I will never recover. So I simply don't watch anything that might frighten me.
I see.
The movie Ravenous is not scary. There are no jump scares.
It is, I want to say it's, like, a very tense film.
It is pretty tense.
But I would say it's also more, and again, like, when I say things, I don't mean them derogatorily, but, like, cerebral horror, where, like, a lot of it's, like, that, like, dawning realization of, like, what's actually going on, and, like, that is where the horror stems from, not necessarily, like, the violence or the creature or, like, whatever they're dealing with.
And, like, the reason that people don't know this movie is because they marketed it as like a splatter horror, but it's not.
It's not.
Like there's not that much splatter. Like they did run out of fake blood in the final scene because the two actors were just wailing on each other.
Yeah.
That was the choreography. They were like beat the shit out of each other.
Go for it.
So
it was the 90s.
Yeah, and so they did that. But like it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
Verging on not even horror, like a dark comedy, and I love a dark comedy.
I desperately wish that you could watch Dale and Tucker versus Evil. But
like blood.
that is a bloody movie on
Yeah.
purpose because it's making fun of the slasher genre.
Yeah.
And it's like confronting all of the tropes of the slasher genre and kind of turning them on its head.
I saw one of the Scary Movies, as in like the Scary Movie franchise.
Right.
And I was probably like 15 or 16, so I have no idea which one it was. I think Anna Faris was in it. And it was like disgusting. I hated it. I did not want to see it. I was like dragged by my cousins, and I did not like it. I still think about like there was like hair in a tub. I'm like, disgusting. I don't like hair in a tub.
So this is really funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the time. It was horrific. But when I was a child, I was not allowed to watch. Like my parents were like really cognizant of like what media I was consuming, except for some reason books.
Well.
I was never.
Same.
They were like, do whatever you want. Read as much Stephen King as you want, fourth grader. But when I was in, I think I was in second grade, my babysitter had me watch The Blair Witch Project.
No, what?
And the beginning of what is the movie from the 90s where he was like, I see dead people?
Signs. No.
No.
The other one, but
I love Signs.
Oh my god, The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense. Okay. I have literally never watched either of those films again. Because I know that they are more scary in my mind than they will ever be as an adult. Because I watched them when I was in second grade, and it was the first horror or anything I had ever seen.
That's terrifying.
And I never even saw.
For life.
I never even saw the rest of The Sixth Sense. My dad literally came to pick me up on the scene where he is in, I think it's a school, and he like looks up. In my mind, I might have rewritten it. It's either a hallway or a stairwell. I think it's at the top of a stairwell, but there are bodies hanging by ropes.
Yeah, gross.
And that is the ending image for me of that film. Like these like corpses that nobody else could see. And I was so terrified. Like even now, I'm like breaking out in goosebumps. But I know if I rewatch that movie, it would not be as scary. So like, I don't watch it to keep that little spooky fresh in my brain.
I love that. I think I've never seen that movie, and I'm not going to. And I don't like what you just described, and I don't want to see it.
So, I know we could talk about comfort media forever.
Yeah.
But I do want to get to our newlywed game because I'm really excited about it. Because I'm rooting for us.
I'm rooting for us as well. Would you like me to describe the rules of the newlywed game?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for those of you who have never seen the newlywed game, basically, in general, it's a newlywed couple. They did a newlywed game episode in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not a whole episode. They involved the newlywed game.
But that episode.
It's when Jake and Holt are in Florida.
Oh, okay. Must be time for a rewatch.
Okay, we're gonna ask each other questions. Normally there would be like a host, but we're gonna trade off being a host. And so when I ask Mariah a question, Mariah is gonna answer with what the correct answer is for her. So for example, if I said, "What is your favorite color?" She would say her favorite color,
Scribble.
Certainly know what that is.
Do you not know my favorite color?
I don't think I do.
I bet you do.
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
Okay. Guess. Do it.
Purple.
It is! Purple and green.
Oh, perfect.
Purple is generally... I wear green a lot, like almost everything I own.
I also wear
green.
a lot of green.
But purple is more like I have a fascination with purple pens and like things in my life are more purple. But
Interesting. Huh.
You knew
I'm gonna
it.
think about. I did know it. That was so for example, okay, so if I said, what is Mariah's favorite color would be the question, and she would write down the real answer, which is purple, and I would write down my guess, which is also purple at this time. And then we would hold up our answers at the same time, and we'll read them out loud for people who aren't watching. And if our answers match, then we get a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we both get a point, or does the guesser only get a point?
The guesser gets the point.
Okay.
Because obviously I'm going to know the answer to what my favorite color is.
That's so true.
Yeah. But we will rotate questions. So why don't you kick us off? And
all right.
You ask a question and we'll guess my answer.
Okay. All right. So, what book or series, aside from All for the Game, because I feel like we already discussed that and I don't want to cheat, is your comfort read?
So when you say series, book series, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should I also write down the author? Or no?
No.
Okay. All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. No!
Oh, so close. I literally was like, I'm going to have to pick between them. So I wrote down Six of Crows, which is by Leigh Bardugo, and Amelia.
I wrote down The Raven Cycle
by Maggie Stiefvater.
I thought for sure I was really confident there.
Well, and the reason why I picked Six of Crows is because, to be honest, I reread it more than The Raven Cycle.
Interesting.
So I read a lot of fan fiction based on The Raven Cycle, and I don't read any fan fiction based on Six of Crows. But I equally write about the series when I am doing my world building column for work. So.
Can you hear my cat yelling?
No.
She's just yelling from somewhere, but I'm not sure where. She's somewhere. She's here.
She wants to play the game.
She does. She'd be really good at it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question now. What is your comfort genre? So this could be any kind of media.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2...
Wait. Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah! I think that counts.
I think so too. Comedy.
Yeah, I wrote rom-com or sitcom.
And I would say comedy is heavy in both of those.
Yeah. Well, it was more like when I'm looking for a comfort read that's not like a book that I'm rereading, I'd rather read a rom-com. But if I'm going to watch a new thing on TV, I'm much more likely to watch a sitcom.
Yeah.
Because I love a sitcom.
Sitcoms are, and we've talked about this a lot, but like sitcoms are very difficult for me. There are very few that I feel like I like very genuinely enjoy. Brooklyn Nine-Nine being one of them.
So good.
And Abbott Elementary is another that I really
like. Abbott Elementary. It's not in my faves, but I do really like it. I'm really liking season 4. I'm in the middle of it. I really liked the first 2 seasons.
Well, I was raised by 2 teachers. Fair. So like I feel like a lot of the humor is like I know exactly the things that they are talking about. Like
I like that too. There are a lot of things I like about it, and there are some things that just are keeping it from being like a comfort watch, if you will.
I understand that.
But I'm a sitcom person. I love a sitcom. I'll watch like any sitcom, good, bad, whatever. My threshold for awkward is a lot higher than I thought it was. I feel like I don't have a high threshold for awkward, but then like I watch Friends with my partner and I have to be like, you leave the room now. It's gonna get weird.
And that's I have a really hard time like I do like Seinfeld. It has grown on me. But like there are some episodes that like I just can't do it. And like I don't know if it's awkwardness actually. Like it's not cringe in the way The Office is cringe, but to me it's just like it's just stuff like I don't find funny.
I agree. I don't think Seinfeld is that funny.
Okay, this is my hot take. Maybe not. Does anybody watch Seinfeld anymore? But,
people do watch Seinfeld. It's very popular on Tumblr, which is where I like it the most. If I hadn't watched Seinfeld, I would love it from Tumblr.
Well, the thing that like always like rankles me every time I watch it is like they always like, talk down on George for being, like, he's supposed to be, like, the unattractive friend. He's, like, the ugly one. And I'm like, look at Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, my God. That's so true.
Even in the 90s, he was no catch.
No.
Women were not, like, busting down his door being like, oh, Jerry. But the show made it seem like that. But I'm like, look at him. Look at him. Like,
I assume it was, like, his personality, which also sucks.
But that's the thing. I was like,
Yeah.
why, why make fun of one character? But all right.
I hate George, though. He drives me crazy. I like Kramer. Is that his name, Kramer?
Yeah.
Kramer is it. I love him.
I'm in love with him.
Yeah, he's the only one that I like. And I like Elaine, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing that frustrates me about Seinfeld is, like, its intended purpose, which when Larry David was creating it, he said, no hugging, no learning, which I hate. I hate that. But, like, I respect it. You know, you did what you set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care for it.
Okay.
Oh, am I next?
Yes, it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay. What movie do you watch over and over?
One single movie?
I think I originally said 2, but I can only think of 1. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do 2.
Okay.
2 movies. Oh no, my marker is running out of ink. That was really aggressive. Whatever you just wrote.
Well, I'm also writing with, like, a honkin' huge
You
Sharpie.
are.
So.
That's a pretty solid. I like the Sharpie, though. It's a nice color.
Yeah, I like it too. And I had to pick, because I got these, like, neon cards, so I had to get something that I knew would show up on it.
Oh, smart.
Okay. Do you have
ready.
guesses? Are you ready?
I have guesses. I'm
Alright.
not confident, but all right. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. All right. So
Yay!
I would say, since this is a 2-part question, you should get 1 point.
All right. Yes.
So my answers were Nightmare Before Christmas, which is my favorite movie of all time.
I didn't know that about you.
Yes. I watch it so much that my 2-year-old can actually recite not only the songs, but the dialogue.
I didn't even know that about her.
Yeah, like she also really likes the movie, which I'm happy about because there was like, I was like, oh, it might be, some children find it frightening.
Oh, I was terrified of it.
And
I didn't watch it until I was an adult.
I was like, she might think it's very eerie, but no, she loves anything with music in it, so.
Fair.
So that is the number 1 because I do watch that one like a lot. And then It was and specifically the Andrew Muschietti It, which Bill Hader starred in It Part 2.
Was he not in the first one? I didn't know that.
The way that series is set up, and kind of the way the book was set up too, but I've never read the book for reasons.
I didn't know that either. Oh, okay.
The book has things that I am just like against as a human being. I don't ever have to read it, but the first film is them as children because the creature It climbs out of the sewers every like 28 years. Is it 28 years? I think so.
That's the amount of years in Once Upon a Time, so maybe.
Let me see. How many years?
Oh, for our readers, I guessed Hercules and It, so I was close. I was in the right genre.
Every 27 years. So I was close. Testing my knowledge there. But, so yeah, then, like, they, like, kind of, obviously they don't defeat it, but they defeat it enough that it goes away when they're children, and then they, like, make a pact, like, in 27 years we're all going to come back, like, if this thing comes back.
Oh, that's nice.
And then they do.
I mean, it sucks that it probably comes back, because otherwise there wouldn't be a movie. But that's nice for a book.
Finn Wolfhard played, I did certainly hear that.
Everything's fine.
Was that
no
a cat?
Worries. No, it was me.
But Finn Wolfhard played Richie Tozier in the first movie, and he was famous first from Stranger Things.
Okay, I vaguely probably know who that is.
Yes,
I know very few things about Stranger Things.
But if you saw him, you would be like, oh, I see. Because of Tumblr.
Right.
Okay, so, So, yes, you get 1 point. I am going to mark that down. So, our next question is, what book's world would you want to live in just because of the vibes?
I think I'm going to throw a curveball at you right now.
Oh no. That
sorry.
makes me...
I had to think long and hard
answer.
about it, and I came up with a good answer that you have a chance of getting, but I just don't know if you're going to get it.
Oh no. That makes me feel like I definitely don't know the answer. But I've already written it down, so I'm not going to cheat.
All right.
It is just what it is. Okay, ready?
All right. Yes.
1, 2, 3. I said Emily Wilde.
I said Redwall.
Redwall. We did talk about Redwall. Yes.
And I had Emily Wilde down first, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, but Redwall is just like full of little creatures, and like Brian Jacques is known for just like describing food. And I don't know if we've like talked about this enough for people to know, but like I'm a food person.
You're a foodie.
I'm a foodie. I love to talk about food. You want to tell me about food in the comments? Do it. I'll read it. I'll respond.
Okay, listeners. She would love it if you would send her menus.
Oh my god, I love to read menus. Reading menus is like my favorite hobby. I've only ever met one other person, and he was writing a book about like owning restaurants, and he also read menus, and we would just like talk about menus. I love a menu. So like Brian Jacques is famous for describing like fresh bread with butter. And so like I want to live in a world where food tastes the way Brian Jacques describes it.
Okay, first of all, I think that you should read oh my god, Travis Baldree's first novel, which is called
Legends and Lattes?
Yes.
I don't think it's for me.
I think it could be.
Could be. But like
it could be.
Food is not enough to compel me into reading something.
It's
I just
so
told you
good,
I was
though.
compelled by violence.
There's some violence in it.
Oh, okay.
There's violence, there's sapphic romance, there's a crime boss.
Yeah, but I know things is all I'm gonna say.
Okay, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about it in our Cozy Fantasy episode.
If 100 people in the comments tell me to read it, I'll read it.
I'm gonna hold you to that because
Please do.
You didn't put a timeline on it, so.
Fair point.
Okay, so we have your next.
Oh yes. Okay. And these are our rogue questions.
Okay.
Oh my god. Where's my list? Okay, I think I know this one. What is your comfort beverage? You're writing a lot more than I wrote.
Well, I put a caveat.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
Ah!
No!
I put iced coffee, specifically mochas. And
I
so
put Pepsi,
I
which
need
is my
Pepsi-
comfort beverage,
I
actually.
need Pepsi to live.
I see. See, I need coffee to live, and
See,
my comfort
yeah.
is Pepsi.
For me, an iced coffee is like a treat. When I'm going to get a little treat, I
That's how I
get
feel
an
about
iced
Pepsi.
mocha. No, I need Pepsi to live. I need Pepsi every day. So.
Yeah. I only drink Pepsi when I don't feel good, which is like all the time because I'm chronically ill. So,
Yeah.
all that is to say, I drink it all the time now. Well, we're doing okay. We're doing all right. We're not doing better than the newlyweds, I don't think.
I don't know about that. Right now, we have 3 points spread out, and only 2 nays. So,
okay, all right.
Statistically, I think we're fine. Okay.
All right. Good. Great. I'm ready.
We will be tied if we get this one wrong, or we will just win and we'll just know each other better. So my final question, what is your favorite cozy spot in your home?
I feel like surely you know this answer. Like, I just can't even imagine you not knowing this answer.
If I don't know this answer, I might cry.
I think everyone who knows me knows this answer.
Okay.
So I'm really hyping it up, but I'm ready. Okay, you ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Your chair.
Yeah, my chair.
I do know you.
You do. This
We
isn't my chair,
win.
by the way. This is a chair that I had to purchase because I can't film in my chair.
That is the filming chair.
This is the filming chair, but I have a chair and I sit in it, and it is
It's her special
ripped
chair.
to shreds by my cats. And it's got like 18 blankets in it, and it is lumpy and uncomfortable now, but it's my chair.
It's your chair. So
one time I threw a party and someone sat in my chair the whole time. And I was like, you've been to my house before. You know that's my chair.
It's like Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, except I didn't have Sheldon there to be like, what are you doing?
You did not chase them away from your chair.
I didn't. I was just like, I guess I'll sit in another chair.
Well, I'm very proud of us because we win. We won the game.
We won the game. I'm so happy.
I had three. I know you. Yeah, I got all 3 right, didn't I? Yes, I did.
No, you didn't get Redwall.
Oh, you're right.
But Emily Wilde was...
I just put it in the wrong color. Damn color coding.
We both guessed each other's second choices many times.
That is true. And I feel like some of them, like the comfort beverage, that was tricky. Because, like, you know that I drink Pepsi. But in my brain, I'm like, that's not for comfort. That's...
Well, I think that's the like important part.
Food.
Like, you also know that I drink Pepsi, but it is for comfort for me.
Yeah.
Also,
True.
Sometimes I have to stay awake and I need, like, the sugar and the cold and the bubbles. I'm like, I don't drink iced coffee. I'm very particular in that. I only drink black coffee.
Yeah. I do know this about you.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, it for today's episode. So thank you, listeners, everyone, for joining us. And we can't wait to see you back here for next week's episode. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you here.
Tell us your favorite comfort media. Comment that down there.
Yes, or comfort characters.
Or comfort characters.
Anything.
Tell us what you're comforted by.
Yeah. Where is your cozy spot in your house?
Yeah. Is it something that we can experience ourselves? We would love to do that. Yeah. So tell us.
All right.
See you guys next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.